In 1950, Detroit had 1.85 million people. Today, 620,000. The missing million people didn't die. They just left. And right now, while you watch this, 5 more American cities are doing the exact same thing. Not villages. Not small towns nobody's heard of. Cities. With universities. With hospitals. With football stadiums still full on Sundays. Becoming ghost towns. While people are still living in them. The people inside don't know yet. By the time we reach number 1, you will understand something about America that your government has known for 20 years and has never said out loud. Subscribe right now before we begin. Because number 1 was supposed to be bigger than Chicago. And what happened to it could happen to any city in America, including yours. They named it after one man. He never visited once. 1906. Empty sand dunes. Lake Michigan on one side. Nothing on the other. U.S. Steel Corporation looked at this emptiness and made a decision that would change 100,000 lives. They would build a city here. Not because people wanted to live here. Not because the land was special. Because the steel mills needed workers close by. Within 15 years, streets appeared from nothing. Schools, hospitals, a city hall with marble floors. 100,000 people built their entire lives here. They fell in love here, had children here, buried their parents here. A boy named Michael Jackson learned to dance on these streets. Then the 1960s came, and U.S. Steel's accountants noticed something. Labor was cheaper in other states. So they moved one factory, then another. They didn't announce it. They didn't warn anyone. They just, quietly, slowly, moved. Today Gary demolishes entire neighborhoods. Not because they're abandoned. Because maintaining abandoned buildings costs more than erasing them. The city is literally deleting itself. Block by block. But here is the part that should make you furious. U.S. Steel is still in Gary. Their mills are still running. Still making money. The company that built this city to serve its factories watches those factories run, while the city dies around them. And they have said absolutely nothing. They built it. They broke it. They stayed silent. Comment yes or no. Should they be forced to rebuild it? 5,000 men went to work. None of them came back. September 19th, 1977. Monday morning. James Traficant, a local official, got the call at 7 a.m. He drove to the plant. He sat in his car. And he cried. Because he already knew what 5,000 workers inside didn't know yet. By lunch, the announcement came through the factory speakers. Youngstown sheet and tube was closing. Effective immediately. 5,000 men. One announcement. No warning. They called it Black Monday. But here's what the history books don't tell you. When 5,000 factory workers lose their jobs in one morning, the barber who cut their hair loses his income that afternoon. The diner where they ate lunch closes that week. The school funded by their taxes cuts teachers that semester. The hospital serving their families shuts its maternity ward that year. One factory, one Monday, became a city dying in slow motion. Population 1930, 170,000. Population today, 60,000. 2/3. Gone. But nothing prepared me for what the city did next. In 2005, city officials sat in a conference room. They had tried art programs, urban farms, demolition initiatives. Nothing worked. So they made a decision no American city had ever made before. They rewrote Youngstown's entire future. Not for growth, for shrinkage. Officially, legally, publicly, an American city. Signed documents. That said, we are planning to become smaller. Not fighting it. Not denying it. Accepting it. I want you to imagine being in that room. Elected to grow your city. Signing papers that say it will never grow again. Is that giving up? Or is that the bravest thing a city can do? Comment, giving up or brave. 8 minutes away from everything. Somehow a world apart. Drive across the Mississippi River from St. Louis, Missouri. 8 minutes. One bridge. And you enter a place that feels like a different country. East St. Louis. Same river. Same sky. Completely different universe. There are streets here where you can stand, turn 360 degrees, and not see a single occupied building. Just you, wind, and the arch gleaming across the water. Like it's watching. This wasn't always here. 1950, this was the meatpacking capital of America. Jazz clubs that ran until dawn. River money that made men rich overnight. 82,000 people with plans. Then the meatpacking industry automated. Then the chemical plants came, poisoned the soil, then left. Then the tax base collapsed. Then the schools collapsed. Then the people who could leave, left. And the people who couldn't, stayed. In a city turning to dust around them. There is a school in East St. Louis. Desks still in rows. A math problem still written on the chalkboard. The teacher who wrote it left in 1993 and never came back. The problem is still unfinished. 32 years later, while 8 minutes away, St. Louis built a new stadium, renovated its riverfront, added luxury apartments. The arch catches the light beautifully from East St. Louis. That is the cruelest detail in this entire video. Same river, 8 minutes apart. Comment, how is this still happening in 2025? The company that destroyed it is now trying to buy its soul back. 1950. I need you to actually picture this. Fourth largest city in America. 1.85 million people. The car companies were here. The money was here. The music was here. Motown literally invented itself on these streets. Michigan Central Station, the train station. So breathtaking that European visitors wrote home about it before they'd even left the platform. And then, the factories left. 1967, 5 days of riots burned the city's trust in itself. White flight, disinvestment, crack cocaine in the 80s, 2008 financial crisis. Layer by layer, like someone peeling the skin off a city. Michigan Central Station sat abandoned for 30 years. Pigeons nested where presidents once walked. Rain fell on marble that once felt the weight of a city's entire ambition. 30 years. Then Ford Motor Company bought it. Ford, whose industry decisions had helped hollow Detroit out from the inside, spent $950 million restoring it. The station reopened in 2024. Marble floors polished. Grand hall full of light again. The same building. 30 years apart. Ford built the industry that gave Detroit its soul. Ford's industry decisions helped take that soul away. Ford is now spending nearly $1 billion trying to give it back. I genuinely do not know whether to call that justice or the most expensive apology in history. $950 million apology. Does money fix this? Comment yes or no. Geography chose it. America refused. Look at where two of the greatest rivers on earth meet. The Mississippi, the Ohio, at a single point. In southern Illinois. Every boat going north must pass through here. Every boat going south must pass through here. East, west. Everything passes through here. In 1850, investors from New York and London looked at that map and wrote in newspapers. Not Chicago, not New York, Cairo, Illinois, would become the greatest city in American history. They staked entire fortunes on it. Charles Dickens visited in 1842. He looked at this future great city and called it a grave, unhealthy place. He put it in a novel as a symbol of the American lie, the promise that always sounds bigger than the reality. They ignored him. Then the railroad companies came, and in a boardroom somewhere in New York, men who had never been to Cairo, never seen those rivers, never met a single person who lived there, made a decision. They would build the railroad lines around Cairo, not through it, around it. Nobody has ever fully explained why. The documents from that meeting, conveniently, do not survive. One decision, made by men in suits who never visited, ended a city geography had chosen to be great. But the railroad wasn't the only thing that killed Cairo. What happened next? The history books actively avoided. For decades, Cairo became the site of racial violence so severe that the Illinois state government had to send in the National Guard. Multiple times, businesses burned, black families terrorized out of their homes in the night, an entire community dismantled not just by economic failure, but by violence the state watched and barely stopped. Population 1920, 15,000 people. Population today, 1,600. The Customs House, built in 1872, built to process the trade of a future great city, still stands, boarded, alone, at the exact meeting point of two of the greatest rivers on earth. In 2012, the state of Illinois considered officially dissolving Cairo, not rebuilding, not helping, erasing it, removing it from official records. Like 15,000 people never built their lives there. Like the dreams were never real. Cairo had every advantage. The best geographic location in America. 2 rivers. A continent's worth of trade. Investors. Ambition. Plans. And it still became a ghost town. So I'll ask you the question that I haven't been able to stop thinking about since I first found Cairo on a map. If geography couldn't save it, if rivers couldn't save it, if money and ambition and belief couldn't save it, what exactly is saving yours? Gary. Youngstown. East St. Louis. Detroit. Cairo. 5 different reasons. 1 identical ending. We watch these cities and we say, how did they not see it coming? The workers of Youngstown said the same thing. At 7 a.m. on Black Monday. Before the announcement came at noon. Right now, half of all American cities are already losing population. Half. Tonight. Next week. We go inside the 5 American towns that the U.S. government actually paid people to abandon. Evacuated. Deliberately. Quietly. And then tried to make everyone forget they ever existed. Subscribe. Because that video was almost impossible to make.